You're about to watch a Trains Newswire video. If you enjoy what you see, consider watching some of our other full-length videos. Hotspots, Horseshoe Curve, Tehachapi, Chicago Racetrack, and more. Locomotive, the video companion to our best-selling special issue. And a special collection from documentary producer Rich Luckin. All these and more are available from our website, kalmbachhobbystore.com. Good morning, Trains Nation. Today is Friday, June 22nd, 2018, all day until midnight. We're so glad you could join us for another episode of Trains Newswire. I am so glad to be back. I've been off for 2 weeks. I was out on a trip with my family out to Oregon and back. We drove the whole way and it was great.
For our new readers, who are you?
I'm Steve Sweeney. Sorry, I'm Steve
And I'm
Sweeney.
missing working with David Lassen from last week. So
And you're Brian Schmidt.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, you are. Okay. Well, anyway, so we're a little bit punchy. We're having a good time here this morning. We hope you're having a good time too. It's a little bit rainy here in the upper Midwest, but it's sunny and warm other places. We wish we could be with you. Brian, there is a lot of news. I want to start off with some of the business news that I caught up this week. GE Transportation announces an order from Kansas City Southern for 50 new locomotives. Not just any new locomotives, Tier 4 locomotives. So that means that GE's newest, latest, greatest product is going to be in the hands of KCS. Big deal. Big deal for locomotive news, right?
Well, and it's interesting too because KCS has so many holdings in Mexico. They don't need the Tier 4 for down there, so this shows they're going to run these units in the U.S. as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's good news for them, good news for GE, good news for KCS, and of course that means good news for the rail industry. Bill Stevens had a great story out earlier this week talking about Canadian National looking to help the Port of Prince Rupert. Say that 5 times fast.
Port of Prince Rupert. Twice I'm done.
Okay, Port of Prince Rupert in British Columbia. They're looking to max out capacity this year, even though they just recently expanded in the past couple of years. They're going to drop a boatload of money or a trainload of money.
Trainload.
They're going to drop
It's
a
a
train.
port. It could be a boatload.
I know. They're going to drop a trainload of money onto the Port of Prince Rupert to expand it again. Because they're anticipating that much traffic growth, mainly to the Midwest in the United States. According to Bill Stevens' story, there are 2/3 of CN traffic out of the Port of Prince Rupert comes right down in here to the U.S. into the Midwest, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
AAR Weekly reports, look, there's only one number that I'm going to mention, 20%, like 20.6%. That is the increase week over week that petroleum products had on Class 1 railroads in the United States. Check out the full report on what the AAR, the Association of American Railroads, said was the traffic for the week ending June 16th. Really, really pretty interesting. 2 more things real quick. Union Pacific reopened a tunnel in Oregon that was blocking a lot of traffic for its east-west main line. East-west main line,
North-south.
Right? North-south main line.
North-south, the Cascades,
Yes.
I-5 corridor.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal. And then Denver RTD, we had news reports from earlier this week that Denver RTD is going to remove some flaggers, some watchmen, guards, whatever you want to call them, from certain crossings on the A line between the Denver airport and downtown Denver. Now, if you've been following this, like we have for the past 2 or 3 years, the A line was new and supposed to be very efficient. They're going to have new technology-enhanced grade crossings to allow the grade crossings to only go down when needed at the speed of the train, much more advanced than what you probably see in your neighborhood, but they didn't work right. So after a lot of tinkering around and some retooling, they finally got permission from the Federal Railroad Administration and the authorities in Colorado to remove those flaggers and have the gates automatically go down on their own without anyone watching it. So that's a big deal.
When we were out there in 2015 for the train's tour of Colorado, the 75th anniversary, and I saw some trains running on the A line, but they didn't have, it wasn't revenue service yet.
Yes.
So they didn't have, you seem so enthusiastic about my story, Steve.
I am.
You are, yes, okay. They didn't have the flaggers yet because it wasn't regular service. They didn't really know. They were trying to work through the problems, but they didn't know, to the scale that this would go to.
Yeah, and no one expected it to go. What is it now? 2 years, 3 years almost?
Yeah.
Almost 3 years. Yeah, I mean, when I was there last year, they had flaggers at all the crossings, and it was absurd that in the 21st century we have 2 guys, almost all men, posted on each side of the crossing from everywhere from Denver Union Station all the way to the airport. And when the train came, they like go out there with their little flag or a sign that says stop and
there aren't that many.
Stop the train.
Aren't that many crossings though? Most of them were kind
10
of
or
on
12.
the east side of downtown. They were
Yeah.
around where Stapleton Airport used to be.
Yeah.
But you get out in the country out to Denver International, and everything is great separated out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's most closer to the city. Anyway, we got some railfan news this week too.
We do.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about it first?
What do you want to start with? Do you want to start with?
Let's start with Durango.
The Durango and Silverton is supposed to start running again?
Yep, it's going to it's
diesels.
reopening today
Yeah.
with diesels on a limited schedule.
Are they going all the way to Silverton? You were
No.
just going to say that.
Yeah, well, I was going to say that. They're going up about 6 miles. The details are on Newswire, but they're going to go up about 6 miles for the next 2 weeks. And they're going to continue, as the danger of fire recedes and they're getting a little bit more rainfall in the area, they're going to continue monitoring the activity of humans and trains and everyone in the area in the fire to see if they can continue up to Silverton with diesels. And then hopefully restart steam service by July 4th.
That's outstanding.
Yeah,
July 4th.
would be a good time to do it
Yeah,
too.
absolutely.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. What else you got?
How about 611?
Ooh.
I guess people are calling it the non-announcement from 611. The announcement that we're not really going to do anything. They're going to do a few things, stay tuned, but there aren't going to be any mainline excursions with 611 this year. They confirmed that, and that's most of what people care about. But you can get the whole story for that on Newswire.
Yeah, absolutely. If you are in Montreal, Canada, and you're a rail fan, and you happen to be a transit rail fan, this was the last week that you could see some of the original equipment polished up and running in regular revenue service on the, I can't pronounce it in French, but I believe it's the STM du Quebec or something like that. And subway cars, we got a full story from John Godfrey earlier this week with some photos. I actually saw some of these cars when I was in Montreal last year for Wheel Rail Interaction. So, Thursday was the last day to see some of these things, but read the story up. And some of the cars are going to be reserved in a museum, the big museum that they have, the Expo Rail in Montreal, or near Montreal. Let's see here. How can we forget about Michigan Central Station in Detroit?
Michigan's, I forgot about it. It seems like it was so Monday.
I know. Well,
Tuesday,
it was.
really, yeah.
Yeah, it was. But I think this is a big deal. Ford Motor.
It is. It's huge.
Ford Motor Company. We knew this for a while. We suspected this for a while that Ford Motor was going to buy Michigan Central Station downtown Detroit, that large rectangular prismatic station that had all the windows blown out and was a decrepit, symbol of decay and eyesoreness of Detroit. And they're going to revamp it, make it their mobility headquarters, which I think is cool. And sort of ironic that the automobile industry was blamed on the demise of streetcars was blamed on the automobile industry. Sorry, I got that twisted. And now they're going to invest in a train station. And who knows what exactly is going to come out of this. It could be headquarters with retail shopping. It could also be a train station.
There was talk of having some public space in there.
Yeah.
So an open area, offices for lease, retail, and even possibly a hotel or some apartments too. We'll see. We'll see what they can work out with their developers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next on the list, Buffalo Central Terminal. Someone, please. They need it. And then lastly, what I've got on my list is 2926. Got re-railed finally. The Santa Fe locomotive.
In Albuquerque.
In Albuquerque.
Yeah.
So locomotive had derailed on a movement, shove move.
Just a minor derailment in the shop, though.
Correct. It was a minor derailment. A couple of wheels came off. I think they spread the rails. The wheels came down in the middle, and you needed special equipment because the inspection pit that it was over had partially collapsed in. So they got Holter in there, and were able to move it. You know what? It's a simple story, but Bill Diven tells it in a way that helps you understand the troubles and travails in rebuilding a large steam locomotive when you don't have a steam shop with 1,000 people there ready to tackle the challenge. This is a story about how people do it today and do it well and get it done so that all the rest of us can enjoy steam.
And if you want more about train derailments and train wrecks,
Yeah, well, watch out for train wrecks too, coming to newsstands near you or available at the Kalmbach Hobby Store, kalmbachhobbystore.com.
I only have one other thing today.
Yeah?
There was a couple derailments last weekend, early this week. Canadian National had a collision and derailment in northern Wisconsin that shut down its main line for a while. And CSX had a derailment and fire, propane cars I think it was, in far southern Indiana down just north of Evansville. You can get the details on both, of course, on Trains Newswire.
Trainsnewswire.com. Well, that's great stuff. We got all those stories plus plenty more. And watch out for our podcast, which is an audio version of this video on SoundCloud or iTunes. For everyone at Trains Magazine, we hope you have a fantastic weekend. Take care.